Soul Sunshine LLC and Uplifting Content Inc. presents Stuck in Reverse, Finding Joy in the Middle of Weird, an autobiography by Susan Louise Gabriel, performed by Ione Butler. Dedicated to my precious family. Introduction. For many years, far too many years, I tried to fit into a group. In high school, it was the smart kids group. In college, it was the nonconformist artists group. As a young mother, it was the mothers of the talented kids group. At the age of 7, my older daughter was determined to learn to ice skate. I had the urge to pretend to not know her when other mothers asked me, "Which one is your child?" It was an easy but slightly painful answer. "She's the one who falls down all the time." "Oh," they responded sympathetically and moved a little further down the bleacher. A few years later, my daughter's fearless determination to master difficult jumps and spins earned her wins in skating competitions. The Cool Moms group welcomed me, but I politely declined. Who needed them now? It's only natural, psychologists tell us, to want to fit in, to want to be surrounded by at least a few people who like us and are like us. Not having that sense of belonging, feeling like a weirdo, has been a source of much anguish for many people, sometimes leading to suicide. A plethora of articles have been written about how to fit in, where to fit in, what to change about yourself so you will fit in. When I was young, all I wanted to do was fit in, and I prayed that God would make me normal. But is the actual problem not fitting in? Or is the problem the anguish that is felt? Is there a way to overcome the anguish of not belonging, of feeling weird? As an adult, I searched for years to find the answer to this question. First, I asked God to help me stop caring about what other people think. Then I asked God to help me stop comparing myself to others. I knew these issues were partly the source of my anguish, and I hoped for a quick and easy fix, like an oil change for my car at one of the chain store lube shops. God answered both prayers, but it wasn't an in-and-out job. No, the old me had to be squashed like a bug, and the old me didn't go down without a fight. She kicked and screamed and raised a ruckus like a 2-year-old. It wasn't easy, and it wasn't a direct route. Instead, my trip began on a bumpy back road at the intersection of weird and you'll never believe it. In this book, I retrace the startling twists and turns on that back road, often stuck in reverse on an unpredictable path filled with confusion, terror, and sadness. I wanted to stop the journey. I pleaded for it to end, but it didn't. And to my amazement, that bumpy back road led to triumph, peace, gratitude, and joy. In His loving and gracious way, God wrote a beautiful story for me, and all that remains is for me to tell it. I began my life blessed with normal American parents, and as far as I can tell, I look and act pretty normal, at least in public. But appearances can be deceiving. I am, and my life has been, anything but normal. My personality? Well, it's a big ball of weird rolled in conundrums, lightly sprinkled with salt, more heavily sprinkled with pepper, doused in vinegar and raspberry chipotle sauce. Often served with a light salad. On second thought, skip the salad. If you're into Myers-Briggs, MBTI, I am an INFJ, which is an uncommon personality type, best known for deep but rarely expressed emotions, a quirky sense of humor, a wild imagination, wildly divergent contradictions, and just general weirdness. Some people find the weirdness cute and charming. Others find the weirdness makes them crazy. But I just think it proves that God has a sense of humor. I always thought I was adopted. I hoped I was adopted. I felt so different from the rest of my family, it seemed to be the only explanation. My hopes were dashed one weekend, though, when I realized that one of my cousins was the spitting image of me, only shorter. Yes, that was a sad day. My parents lived in a town that was too small to have a real hospital. So I was born in Fort Collins, Colorado. I grew up in Loveland, Colorado, 10 miles to the south. Every time I have to answer the question, "Where were you born?" I am stumped. Do I put the town I technically was born in? Or do I put the town...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?